Are you looking to get out of your job and, as my book says, fire yourself, right? Well, it can be done. I did it in about 3 years through passive or investment income. And I want to share my secrets with you of how you could also do this in your life. A lot of people talk about financial freedom, and maybe you've talked about wanting to have financial freedom, but really, if you think about it, what does that really mean? It doesn't mean just having gobs of money. It really means having control over your time. So I want to give you my 3 secrets on how to get started in this. 3 ways that you can basically start to get your time back and really work on your path to financial freedom in the next 3 years and make job optional. Fire yourself. Let's go. All right, so my name is Bronson Hill. I'm the CEO of Bronson Equity. We've got about $200 million in multifamily. We've also got ATM machines, car washes, oil and gas, other types of investments. We help passive investors get passive cash flow through our investment club. You can check that out at bronsonequity.com. And again, I'm not giving you investment advice. These are just my thoughts. This is educational. The first thing that's important to do is to identify your freedom number, right? So there's 3 different forms of financial freedom, 3 different levels, I should say. The first level is this freedom number, right? It's how you get out of the rat race. It's not, when I was making $200,000 a year, it wasn't that I needed to replace that. I worked with some doctors. I was in medical device sales for 10 years. And I saw doctors that made over $1 million, but they didn't have freedom over their time. And I didn't really envy them because they were working, a lot of them, 70, 80 hours a week, every single week, and didn't get paid when they didn't go to work. So to me, that's not my idea of freedom. That's still kind of is stuck in the job, right? So financial freedom to me was finding out what that number is the first level, is looking at your expenses and how much did I actually need to live. And for me at the time, I needed about $6,000 a month to live. It was about $70K a year. It wasn't a lot of money. For you, let's say you need $8,000 a month. I was making $200K, but I didn't need that. So I figured out what that number is, because if I could get that number covered through investment income, then I was at a place where I was financially free, right? I didn't have to go to work. I was basically able to have enough coming in to be able to cover that. Now, the second level really is going to the level of covering what your wages were, right? So if I was making $200K, or you're making more than or less than that, just covering that number. And the last one, the highest level, really is that jet-setting lifestyle, right? That you're living the life of your dreams. You're doing all the things you want. You have, this higher level. And there's people that I know that live that way, right? So that's the highest level of financial freedom, where you can do all the things you want to do. So, but really, I think it's important to look back, take a step back, and figure out with financial freedom, what is it you really want? Because it's not, again, about how much money in a bank or piles of money. It's what do you want to build? I've heard it said that money is like a bunch of Legos, right? So you can build a bigger pile of Legos like when you're a kid, but it's really about building what you want to build. And that's what we do, is we help people build. If people want to build a dragon, we can build a dragon. If they want to build a castle with a moat, we can do that. And I heard this analogy from a friend that's really what money is like. It's a tool to be able to help build. So you think about that, what that means. And so there's something that you need to do in order to be able to do that. And this is the second point, is to commit to invest all you can. It's been said that the poor and middle class, this is how they invest. They spend what they have, they live off what they have, and they invest what is left over, right? And the wealthy will invest first and live on what is left over. So they have them switched, right? So if you invest first and you invest a lot of your funds and you're able to really commit to doing it, then you're able to have a life that actually pays you back and actually builds this kind of long-term residual wealth, right? So I want to give an example for you how this works. If you had 15% annualized returns per year, your money, your investment would double every 5 to 7 years, which would be amazing. We've done this through multifamily apartments like this. We've done it through other types of deals. And 15% is a common projection. It could be a little higher or less, but generally that's a good projection. But there's a lot of benefits here. You get tax benefits, you get higher returns, you get lower volatility in the stock market. So there's some great benefits. We talk about an inflation hedge these days to be able to hedge your inflation, which we're seeing substantially right now, right? And so, having some diversification is good. Putting in different deals, different types of deals. We're doing stuff in the business world as well, which is great. And then, over 5 years of investing, I want to share how this can lead to $8,200 a month of investing. So I'm going to take this, and I've calculated this out, where you take a $200,000 income, that was about what I was making before I left my W-2, and you invest $70K per year. So that means you're basically living off the $130,000. You have some taxes, but you get some tax benefits for investing. So you're basically living off about half of what you make, and maybe after taxes. Then you're basically getting a 15% annualized returns. We talked about the money, the funds, the investment will double every 5 to 7 years. So in 5 years now, you've invested $70K every single year for the next 5 years at a 15% return. That has now become $661,000 in 5 years, right? Which is amazing, right? Okay, you invested, over 5 years, the $350 that you put in has now become $661. That's great. That's wonderful, right? And that's generating at 15% returns is generating about $8,200 a month. Right now, it's not always as common to find deals that you're getting a 15% cash-on-cash return, which is kind of what this is assuming. But it gives you an idea that there's a way that you can do it, right? That you can get there, and once you figure out what your number is. It's interesting how when we look at money, it's important that we have the right mindset about it. Now, Warren Buffett, as you know, I'm a big Warren Buffett fan. Great guy to study. There's a great book out called The Snowball, which is an awesome book about his life. I've listened to it, and it's been great. I'm actually going through it again here on another trip. But basically, he would go to his wife. This may not be the easiest person to live with, right? But he would go to his wife who asked for a new couch and say, I don't want to spend $500,000 for that couch. And like, what was he talking about? Well, maybe the couch was $500. But because of the way Warren thinks, he was thinking about in the next 30, 40 plus years, that if you compound at a 30% annualized or 20% or 40% or whatever his annual, he was compounding very, very quickly, that putting that money out there now for that item would have been a miss from what he could have invested it with. So again, it's really having that wealth mindset, right? So the third thing I wanted to say, the third real investing secret when it comes to developing passive income is to identify great investments, right? It's not just enough to have the idea. You can have great ideas, but if I just take a little bit of action every day, I'll beat you all the time because I'm taking the steps to get toward my goal. So identifying. So how do you find great deals? Where are these great deals? Where are these deals that are returning 15% per year? If you're only in stocks and bonds, you're not seeing these great deals, but there are phenomenal deals out there, but you've got to look for them. So the number one place that I find these, honestly, is networking events. I go to networking events and conferences, right? National conferences are great, local networking events. I talk with other people. If you're a passive investor, if you find other passive investors, you will be able to really get in the loop about deals. And passive investors really in the financial world are the only people that don't have anything to really sell you, right? They're just out there trying to do what you're doing and trying to grow their wealth over time. So, I'd never heard about multifamily syndication. And why is that? It's because Wall Street doesn't want you to know, right? It's a secret, right? Wall Street spends billions of dollars of advertising. They spend so much money advertising. And, it's just, that's the way things go. It's 401ks, it's stocks, bonds. These are traditional type of investments. But there was a time in the 1930s, they'd say, why in the world would you ever do stocks? That's like the most risky thing ever. And people were owning real assets. So networking events, you can check out, like our YouTube channel, podcasts. We have the Mailbox Money Show. We talk about things like this all the time. We're talking about different asset classes. So that's a topic that comes up a lot on the Mailbox Money Show. And then, you can do Google searches. I'm not a big fan of crowdfunding. That's another option if you don't have enough money to invest in a larger syndication. But, podcasts, books, resources, word of mouth are great ways to do it. And again, we talked about the Wall Street interest. I was what's called an RIA, or a registered investment advisor, right? So I was registered with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, to be able to sell stocks and bonds and different things like that. And I just realized that it just really, there was a misalignment of interest often between what investors needed and really getting, access to these Main Street type of deals. That's the reason why people do not hear about them. So, the most important thing of all of this, you can have, identify your freedom number, you can commit to invest all you can, and you can find great deals. But if you don't actually take action, it won't change your life. I went to real estate meetups for at least 5-6 years and didn't really do anything, right? I had one rental, but I just didn't do anything. And then I made a decision that, okay, today I'm actually going to make the decision that I'm going to leave my job in 3 years. When I did that, I found a way to do it, right? So if you actually decide, Tony Robbins says, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So not just your financial freedom or your career or whatever, it allows you to live the life that you want to live. So that's really my hope for you. My desire for you is that you find a way to become financially free, because what it will open up for you is way more options than what you even saw possible for yourself. So Warren Buffett is one of my favorite quotes of all time. This is the lead quote in my book, and it says, unless you find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And that's by our friend Warren Buffett, right? And ironically, Warren Buffett, I believe, is 93 and he's still working, right? And he describes tap dancing to work. So he's working in a way that he wants to be working. He doesn't do it because he has to do it because he loves to do it. This is who he is. This is how he's designed. And so I want that for you, that when you're free of having to go for a job, you can be free to explore your purpose. So I want you to check out this video. This is about 2023. It was a tough year for some of us. Had some losing investments in 2023. Check out that video up here. I think you'll really get a lot out of it. Just want to share very authentically some stuff that happened in 2023 that was not favorable. And then if you haven't joined our investment club, we've got some stuff that we're really excited about going forward. You can check it out. It's multifamily, oil and gas, ATMs, car washes, other types of alternative deals. You can check it out, the link below, or go to bronsonequity.com. Appreciate you taking the time to educate yourself. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.